talking, I don't sweat that. If they don't trust me either, I respect that. But she need down the ride, oh I bet that. Ooh, I slide for my people, don't forget that. Don't forget that, don't forget that. Ooh, I slide for my people, don't forget that. Don't forget that, don't forget that. Ooh, I slide for my people, don't forget that.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. My name is JH. How y'all doing, Postal family? Is everybody good? Is everybody cool? Are you clean, crisp? Are you feeling irie today? Yes, let's talk. What is the perfect management team? What would you think the perfect management team would consist of? We blame management for a lot of things. Everything, damn near. But it's a combination of everything and everyone that works in management. I'm sure you would agree. What I like to do right now is I'm going to give an opinion about what the perfect management team is. And I'd like for you guys to have your own discussion in regards to what you think the perfect management team should be. The only part that you guys are going to not like is the fact that I am going to combat some of what I actually say. Meaning, when we have a perfect management team, do we have the perfect players? The team is only as strong as the players. You can have a football team with the best coach in the world, but are the players any good? Let's talk. The composition of the perfect management team can vary depending on the specific needs and goals of the operation. We have specific operations, whether it be at the station, whether it be the mail handlers, whether it be the clerks, etc. But a well-rounded management team often includes individuals with a mix of skills and qualities. So when you have somebody that's in management, they should know the job that they are applying for. I'm sure you would agree. They should have at least worked it and at least been good at it. I'm sure you all would agree, because it would make no sense if I was a horrible driver and I crashed every day and didn't scan and didn't do my job and was late all the time, but yet I get promoted to management because they couldn't fire me. Whose fault is that? That's the unions, but we'll talk about the unions in another video. And then I get promoted to management. How am I actually going to help the team out if myself, I wasn't any good? So with the head of any department, you should realistically have a visionary. I watch wrestling, so bear with me. A visionary, someone who sets the overall direction and vision for that department. Look, let's have a meeting. Let's talk about what we're going to do today. Let's see how we can accomplish this together. We're short people, but we're going to make this happen. Let's see who's going to step up to the base. I understand that it's not technically your job to cover other people, but we're going to make it the best we can, and trust you'll be rewarded the best way that I can reward you. When I was stepping up, to those that know, they know, I'd make sure that on Saturdays, I try to take care of the drivers. I'd buy them lunch, all kind of garbage. I'd make sure that they were all right. I wasn't trying to buy the drivers, but that's called showing appreciation. Because my vision at the time was to make sure that the mail got out and everybody at the end of the day was semi-happy. They can physically do the work. Nobody really wants to do extra work. But if they did, they felt like they were taken care of at the end of the day. A visionary. Second would be a strategic thinker. Someone who can develop and execute strategic plans, strategies. Look, we came in, we're down 4 or 5 trucks. Look, we came in, the bundle sorter's broken. Look, we don't have enough forklifts to make this operation run today. But they can develop and execute a plan on the drop of a dime. That means that they know how to instantly figure out an alternative game plan in order to make the operation work, instead of looking confused. Because if the manager looks confused or supervisor looks confused, then the players, they're all going to be scrambling in every direction except for the direction you want. I'm sure people agree with me. Let's continue. A person that's an expert in the operation that they're in. That doesn't necessarily mean that they're the manager, but an operation expert. There's always got to be one. Look, when I was carrying mail, I did it. I failed, but I made it. It took me time. I achieved certain things that I couldn't figure out, but it took me time. So when you run into this situation, this is what you do. When you run into that situation, this is what you do. Somebody that's a constant thinker, almost an expert at their specific operation, because they can lead by example. The HR and the people that supervise over the direct employees. So human resources, big department. But when we have situations at the post office, we can't reach HR. Very difficult. I don't know how many people work in HR, but I know it's virtually impossible to reach somebody in HR. If you have to deal with FMLA papers, or you have issues with your light blue, or whatever the case is, getting locked out, it's very difficult. But they have to have some strategy in order to deal with the 650,000 employees on a consistent basis. Does that mean all of us have problems at the same time? No, but there's a chance. And they don't need to have 650,000 employees covering us. They just have to have a plan, which brings me back to a couple of the earlier points that I made. A problem solver. A problem solver is imperative at the post office. A person that is presented with a problem. All of this seems like it ties together. Whenever you're presented with an issue or a problem, you think outside the box. And if you think outside the box and it doesn't fit the narrative that other managers are accustomed to, they should have full faith in your problem-solving skills to trust that you'll get the job done. The problem that I see is there are great managers. There are some great managers, but when they want to execute, or at least attempt to execute something that actually makes sense, it gets shot down because their boss doesn't seem to think it's going to be effective. Without having the support of upper management, when you make an executive decision to do something, or a request or a need, without having support of upper management, the whole operation fails. The whole operation fails. Now, this may not be one of the more hyped up videos, but I had to jot down a couple notes, like I said, because we bash management quite often. But here's the thing, and I said this before, management is you. Management is you. Management is just postal workers that moved up. Seldom have you ever heard of a manager or a postmaster or a supervisor or an MPO or a plant manager that has never worked at the post office before. Have you? No. It's somebody that's around you right now. It's one of your coworkers. It's one of your coworkers. It's another carrier. It's another clerk. It's another mail handler. Somebody around you is going to be a manager one day. The question that you have to ask yourself is, do you have full trust in the people that you work with? Which leads me almost to the end of this video. Because if management is us tomorrow, who do we have working with us today? Are we the bad actors? That's a question for you all to answer. This is a fair discussion, and I want you guys to be open-minded while discussing it. I'm looking at things from different perspectives, and I want you guys to have an open mind and look at things from a different perspective too. Remember, management is us tomorrow. This is JH. Y'all have yourself a good rest of your evening. We out.
Unexpected expenses stressing you out? Get the money you need now with Loans for Feds, a program designed specifically for federal employees. Bad credit is not a problem. Application is fast and easy with same-day approvals. Apply now.